Ross is in now, and definitely not quite as warm out there today as it was yesterday, but relatively quiet.
Yeah, it's been pretty calm. We have the sort of calming before the storm, if you want to say that, at the moment. But yeah, a big change from what it was yesterday, though, is we had temperatures into the 60s. We had a record high day. Well, not so much for today. Right now we're sitting at a temperature of 40 degrees, which actually temperatures started out into the 50s early this morning, and we've kind of had just a cooling trend throughout the course of the day. So temperatures for the most part have been hovering right around into the 40s, but unfortunately we're going to see temperatures drop even colder than that. So just taking a look again at how cold we've gotten in the past 24 hours, you can see close to 23 degrees cooler in Mount Vernon and basically across all of southeastern Ohio from that cold air, from this cold front that's been pushing through the area. But that's not the main thing we're watching right now. We're watching this band of snow that's been making its way from Illinois and Indiana now into Ohio. The main thing we're going to be looking at is, well, how much snow are we going to see? Well, at the moment, if we take a closer look at live max storm radar, really just started to pick up some light rain, just a real drizzle on little drops on the windshield, nothing more than that. But as we see, more snow is then pushing in from the west towards the east, but nothing really yet here in southeastern Ohio. So within this band of snow, though, we could see some limited visibilities. As you can see, a mile in Akron, less than a mile in Mansfield. So I think the main problem, what we're going to see eventually when we see snow later tonight, is the possibility of the obstruction to visibilities if you're driving out later tonight. But taking a look back now in southeastern Ohio, mainly we can see that freezing line right here across radar where we see a wintry mix. Now mainly just some light snow in New Philly, Coshocton, and Mount Vernon, but staying relatively dry down towards the south in McConnellsville. So it'll take a while for us to see some of this wintry mix then change over to snow. So why don't we take a look at it right now on our futurecast. And as we'll see more snow come through the region in Columbus around 8 o'clock, then I'm thinking between 8 and 10, that's going to be our best shot of seeing any sort of snow through the region. And it's going to be kind of tricky, mainly because temperatures for the most part are well above freezing. So as far as what's going to be sticking to the ground is going to be something we'll have to take a look at. But right now, as you can see, right before midnight, it looks like the majority and the heaviest part of the snow is going to be done with. So for the remainder of the night, going into Thursday morning, we'll see that shift in the wind, which will bring in colder air, so we're going to have a pretty blustery day for us tomorrow. And then mainly just some lake effect snow showers, mainly light flurries that will be coming through the region, but then we'll be clearing out as we head into Friday. So taking a look at snow accumulations, this is basically until 1 a.m. later tomorrow. So basically looking at about 1 to 2 inches for the majority of southeastern Ohio. What's going to be tricky though is, well, temperatures for the most part are going to be below freezing not until around 10 o'clock when I expect a lot of snow to come through the region. So we could see the majority of it then melt, with more accumulations mainly into the grassy areas, and or bridges could likely see freezing conditions sooner before the main roads. But as you can see, we're really not going to be dealing with any accumulations throughout the remainder of the day, maybe just a 1/10 of an inch or a coating throughout the course of the day provided by those bands that we could see. So taking a look at temperatures right now, as I mentioned, so in Mount Vernon and towards the north, temperatures are already into the lower 30s, near freezing. We're still hanging on the 40 here in Zanesville, 40 down in McConnellsville as well. So it's going to take a few hours for those temperatures to drop, but up towards the west and northwest, we can really see those temperatures below freezing, where they'll likely see more measurable snow than we will likely see. So for the most part, temperatures probably going to be dipping down near freezing right around 10 o'clock, as again I expect we're going to see the majority of the snow come through the region. So it's going to be really hard to pinpoint, well, when is it going to start to stick and start to accumulate? Probably not until after midnight, but as I showed you before, we're likely going to be seeing the snow end around 1 a.m. So I'm thinking for the most part, we could see around 1 inch of snow as far as total accumulation on all roadways. You could see a little bit more on grassy areas, but for the most part, we're just going to be dealing with just some light accumulations. And then as this system finally moves towards the east, we'll have high pressure will then build into the region, which will then provide cold conditions with wind chills into the teens throughout the majority of the day, also feeling like it's into the single digits. So it's going to be setting up for a pretty cold day, but for the most part, temperatures will be in the mid-20s with coating up to 1 inch likely throughout the overnight, but then drying out quickly throughout tomorrow with just some scattered snow showers in our region, and temperatures won't be able to climb much because of that northwest flow. And hard to believe we had temperatures into the 60s. Well, hey, we'll get a chance again to see temperatures near 60 degrees as we head this weekend. We'll be seeing more rain come through later in the day on Saturday, and then into Sunday with temperatures near 60 degrees, and then temperatures starting to be a little mild as we head into next week.